this is just the way it, this is the way it feels.
So nicely, man.
To the right?
Yeah. I'm sure we're gonna hit a couple of dead ends or whatever, but
yeah, whatever.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Automotive Anatomy. Today we have Mr. Jeremy. Jeremy, thank you so much for making the time, man.
You're welcome.
You. Thank you for driving, because it was quite a bit of distance for you as well.
Just a bit.
Just a bit, thank you. What do you drive, man?
So I drive a 1995 Acura Integra.
Are you sure it's not an Accord? It has the same front end as my car, but we'll get into it. I think they copy
We'll get into that because I myself, I'm an Accord lover. My first Honda was a 97 Accord in 97.
See, that's why I like you, man. So you had good vibes from the beginning.
And I rode that thing till the wheels fell off, so
maybe it's time to sell this one and get, no?
Or maybe just get another one.
Oh, even better, Jeremy. Even better. Oh. That's funny. Well, before we get into this beautiful Integra, man, let's start talking a little about you. What do you remember thinking? I like cars, this is my hobby, this is what I want to pursue?
As far as liking cars, man, I grew up playing with Transformers cars. My dad had an 85 Trans Am. And
nice.
Me, as being 5 years old at the time and seeing him and how he cared for his car, that's how I developed the love for cars. Now, as far as my own interest in cars, I'd say maybe like middle school, lowriders though.
Oh, nice.
I was into lowriders. I was living in Hawaii at the time.
Oh.
No, they didn't. The import scene was not there.
Gotcha.
I knew nothing of it, right? But lowriders, that's what I was into at first. Now, my love for this happened probably when I came back from Hawaii. My older cousins and his homies, they were riding these little Hondas.
Were you in high school by then?
Ninth grade is when I came back.
Oh, okay. So you were right at the beginning of high school.
Right at the beginning of high school. I come back. I'm going to school with my cousins up in North County, San Diego. And all his buddies are driving these little Hondas. And I'm like, dude, where are the lowriders at that I see, like, in the magazines in Hawaii? How come no one's riding these?
Go to Chicano Park. You'll find them. Logan Park.
Exactly. Barrio Logan. But my love for the Hondas came in like the mid 90s.
Interesting. That's so funny that you mentioned that, because I never thought about that. The fact that like the years are the same, but just based on geographically where you're at. Yeah. It could be a completely different scene.
Yeah. I mean, it hit everywhere, right? Especially after the Fast and Furious franchise came out, everybody started getting into cars.
Gotcha.
So I think no matter where you go now, there's a car culture somewhere, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, so you come back, you see a lot of Hondas and.
Yeah, my buddies, they're all driving the Hondas and the 240 SXs and the Mitsubishi Eclipse. That was actually the first Japanese car I wanted, was the Eclipse GST or GSX. So that's what, my hopes and wishes were, that when I get my first car, it'll be that. Turns out I got a 97 Accord Special Edition.
Hey, you got something better. Is that what it means?
I guess so, man. But I love that car. I drove that one for 11 years, I think.
You got it
probably
brand
the
new?
longest, huh?
You got it brand new?
So my parents bought it as the family car, but
Nice.
they're like, here, you're gonna use it. And from then on, the modifications starting happening. Not too crazy. I mean, you're a broke high school kid, right?
Yeah.
So you're saving up like 6 months for some lowering springs. You're saving up 3 months just for an intake, right? So, it was lowered, cheap exhaust, cheap intake, but I love the thing.
You know, it's funny you say that, because that actually gives me a big smile to my face, because we've all been there. And I think that those are the moments that, now looking back, we're so happy about, because 6 months is a long time for us to just put lowering springs. And you put the lowering springs and you're like, oh man, it is really like, you take pictures. Maybe, I don't know if you ever did this, but I did it. I put it like near a little driveway that was low, so then it would look lower than it was,
No, you know what I did was take a photograph, right? Print out the photo, you cut it out, and then you lower the car.
I never did that. That's even better than the driveway.
Oh, man.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So what happened to that beast of a car?
So I got my career in 2008, and my plan was to H-swap the Accord, and it would just be my forever car. But I started realizing at the time that it probably isn't a good idea. I don't know, this just was my mindset at the time, to have an H-swapped Accord that you drive every day, and it's like one of the most highly stolen cars ever, right? So
that's being smart. That's being mature. Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I'm making money now. Let's get rid of this and just get something new. So I bought a 2009 Acura TL.
Great car. Yeah.
It was a good car. It was a really good car. Put some work wheels on it, lowered. It had the OEM kit. I don't know if it's called A-Spec for that year, but put that kit on, and I don't know, time happens and you get tired of it. I got tired of that one. It got boring.
It was too comfortable.
It was too. No, I don't know, man.
You didn't worry about getting it stolen. You're like, what am I doing with my life? It's too safe.
I don't know. I got bored of it. Looking for another car. After that was a 2017 STI.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I drove that for about 3 years.
So fun.
And it was a very fun car. And then I don't know, man. It wasn't me. I think when I was looking for a new car, I really wanted the FK8.
Yeah.
But at that time, since this is 2016, 2017, the markups were like $5,000 at the time. And I'm like, dude, forget that, dude. I'm not going to pay like $5,000 for extra just to have this car. And then one of my cousins is a Subaru ambassador. He's like, why don't you try an STI? Drove it. I'm like, you know what? This is pretty cool. And there was no markup. It was like 38,000, you know, and I'm like,
a million of them. Yeah.
You know, and I drove that for 3 years.
Yeah. Great cars.
It was a great car, but I figured fast forward to 2020, I'm thinking, you know what? I need something with utility, right? So I go and get a Tacoma. I traded that in, and you'd be surprised at the equity of that car. I think I had like...
It held, yeah.
Gosh, I had like $11,000 in equity. Like they cut me a check to pay off the car, and they gave me $11,000.
Don't think that it's ever going to happen again, but just letting
it happened with the Tacoma when I got rid of the Tacoma.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it happened.
So you know what
again.
cars to buy, man.
It happened again. So this year, I got rid of the Tacoma this year.
Wow.
Because I've in the last 3 years of owning the Tacoma, I was like, you know what? I'm not using this thing for what I thought I needed it for.
Not going camping every weekend.
No, I stopped going off-roading with it, you know, and then it just ended up being my commuter car. Truck. And I'm like, dude, I'm throwing all this money on the monthly car payments, on the insurance, on the gas, on the registration. Everything's expensive to have this truck. So I got rid of it. And so that had 17,000 equity.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, so I got rid of that, and
I'm gonna start following whatever cars you buy. I'm gonna go buy
I just getting lucky on these cars.
Serendipity, man.
You know?
Yeah.
So I use that equity to not get my new daily, which is the TSX that I don't know, you saw me post the picture of it when you were at the Honda headquarters. So that's what I am.
Great choice, by the way. Great choice.
It's a Honda Accord.
Yeah, it's pretty much a Honda Accord.
There are Accords in Japan.
Gotcha, man. So it sounds like you've done very smart moves with cars. Not a lot of us can say that.
Lucky moves.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say smart because they were expensive cars.
At the
if
time.
you think about it, you know, they're expensive cars. But I think just the market and those particular cars that I chose have really high resale value.
Awesome. Well, I think something else that has very high resale value is this Integra. Tell us, how do you stumble upon this Integra? What makes you want to get another one?
So 2011 is when I got this thing, and I was just looking for a toy car. The TL I had for 3 years already. It was already, there was not much, and there's the aftermarket support for that TL at that time.
None.
I just didn't know where to look for the proper parts, so I was getting bored. You know, it was my daily, and I was looking for a toy car.
Okay.
Choices were this, an Integra, a Datsun 510,
Ooh,
and the S30Z, or like the first generation Zs. They were all at the same price point at that time.
wow.
So I was like, okay, I got this Z, I got this 510, then I got this Integra. They're all in that same price range. And then so I started, thinking, if I choose the Datsuns, how hard is it to get it to where you want it to be? I felt like that path would have been really difficult, looking for parts, replacement parts, maintenance parts, right?
You're right.
But then in 2011, the Integras, or any Honda for that matter, You go to Craigslist, they got all the parts you need. You go to the junkyards, they're all there still. So I chose the Integra just because it was, in my mind, easier to
That's a valid point.
to you know, to get it to where you want it to be. Parts were plentiful. You know, the aftermarket support on these is just deep.
Yep.
You know, so I chose this Integra.
I don't think you made a bad decision. You could have not gone wrong with either the Z, the 510, or this.
Looking back on it now and what they're worth now,
You would have gone with the 510.
it's insane. I will never have one now. You know what I mean? I'll never have one now.
You look at this car like, damn you, why are you not appreciating as
I
much?
should have got the 510 or.
But it's so
got the Z.
funny because at the time you're thinking about it that way, but it makes sense that it was difficult back then. Now it's more difficult, therefore the cars should go in value. But
Yeah. No, it just likes to go. So even to drive normally, you shift gears really quickly just if you want to look normal.
if you want to look normal.
See?
Wow.
You know, you got to shift quick if you want to be if you want to drive at normal speeds.
Yeah, the shifting assembly is very direct, man.
Yeah, very.
So good.
Very. I highly suggest the hybrid. This is a no-cut shift. I think they have like B series and H series
Right.
shifters and stuff. I'm not too sure.
But this is good.
But
for you.
I like it. I mean, there might be another one that I may in the future try to, use, which is the Acuity.
Oh yeah. Good reviews from different
good reviews.
chassis.
Yeah, the
Gotcha.
Acuity, but I don't know, man.
This is good.
I mean, it works fine for me. People talk about like binding issues with this shifter kit.
Have you had that issue?
The only issue I have is like 6th to 5th.
Okay.
Sometimes if I'm really trying to, if I'm trying to downshift from 6th to 5th, sometimes it doesn't go into 5th.
That's
Like it gets, I don't know, stuck.
But nothing too bad.
Stuff maybe.
Yeah. Gotcha. Man. Well, the car, it sounds like there's nothing loose. It doesn't sound like it's.
I don't know. I hear all the rattles and stuff.
Do you?
Yeah,
I don't hear. I mean, maybe my car rattles.
Maybe yours just rattles a little more.
My
But no,
car should be named a rattlesome, man. Everything shakes
rattles?
on that thing. Yeah. I'm concerned when that thing rattles. I'm like, what's gonna break now? You know?
Yeah, but you got to think. I mean, this particular car is what, like 28 years old?
It's crazy.
Come on, man. Like
It's great.
It's not going to be all tight like it was in the 90s.
But what I'm saying is, like, it feels like it is, so that's kudos to you, the maintenance and the upgrades that you've done as well.
Thank you.
Have you done anything with the clutch?
Stock, whatever is inside the stock RSX transmission. Stock clutch.
Like ready exhaust, nice tone to it.
Sounds good, man.
Very good.
As you can see, I'm a big Gretty fanboy. Always have been.
That's cool.
So, like, whenever they got something available, I'm getting it.
Well, if there's a company out there that's willing to make parts for all different type of cars, because they even make some for their court,
Yeah.
you gotta appreciate them. You gotta support them.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, when you're trying to do, like, the whole theme, all matching brand or whatever, Gritty's, like, kind of the ones that are on the more affordable side.
Okay. Yeah.
You're talking about Mugen and Spoon. It's like, bro, you're throwing major dough, you know what I mean?
Talking about it.
Yeah.
So 2011 you bought it. So you've had it for quite a bit now.
And it sat for quite a bit as well.
And it sat. Okay,
It
cool.
sat for quite a bit.
It looked like this, wheels and everything was great. You just been driving it.
No, no. It was sitting on donuts. It had cut springs. It was like cut springs, and I'm gonna say they were like skunk tooth shocks or something.
Good quality.
Oh, dude.
All blown out, but
all blown out, slammed to the ground.
Where did you find it?
Craigslist. It was on Craigslist. It was some kid from like the Barrio Logan area.
You already know.
Yeah, and what caught my eye was the J front.
So it was already J front.
It was already J front, and I always said if I got an Integra, it would have to have the J front because it looks like an Accord.
All the bug-eyed dudes are disliking the video, Jeremy, and I'm okay with it.
Well,
funny
funny thing about the bug eye is, in my teens when the cars were brand new, I hated it. It was like J front or nothing. But now that I'm older and kind of have looked back through the years, I love the bug eyes just as much.
You appreciate them, yeah.
I appreciate them more.
But J's
now.
still the win. Come on.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean,
shout out to my homies with Bug Eyes.
Yeah.
No, Bug Eyes is beautiful. I get it. Now I'm the same way, and I'm appreciating it way more, especially the sedans. But come on, the J front end, you can't.
Yeah, no. So it already had it on, and when I met up with the kid, and he was a kid, by the way, he was like early 20s at the time. He didn't. I don't know, man. It was. He didn't take care of it. I guess that's what it was.
Yeah.
He just didn't take care of it. And, looking at the J-Front, when I first saw it, everything was legit. Like, it's not a knockoff. This is all OEM. It was all OEM stuff.
Oh, wow, okay.
And it was fairly straight. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, forget it. Let's just do it. Because for the price that it was, that's probably how much I would have spent to just get a J front on a US front, right? Like, it's not cheap.
It's not.
So I was like, you know what? Yeah, maybe it's in rough shape. Maybe it's seen better days, but that's what we're getting these things for, right?
And that was back in 2011.
In 2011.
Now it's a whole different animal.
And he wanted to get a Z, I think it was. A 350Z was like, it was either, I think he said a Z or an S2000 or something.
All right, well.
And he's like, yeah, I wanna get rid of this and level up.
Level up, all right. He leveled up, all right.
Hey.
All right. So the front end was already there?
It was already there.
Gotcha.
It had a replica Type R lip. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
But everything else was bone stock and just not taken care of.
Yeah.
You can tell it fell to the wayside.
It makes sense, though. All of us, I think, to some degree, did that. We thought Iguana boxes, they're not gonna appreciate in value. No one's gonna care about these cars. Well, here we are now, 2023.
Talking about my Accord, man. I ran that thing till the wheels fall off. I think I didn't take care of it as a teenager. You don't really know how to take care of cars in your teens, and so I just ran it till the wheels fall off.
And that's mostly what most people do because they are commuter cars.
Yeah, and that's what these cars were built for, was to just get you around places.
They were never intended to put $3,000 suspension, and we are the ones who were doing that.
Correct.
All right. Now, the car was not this color, right? You mentioned?
Yeah, no. So you can tell that it was painted in the mid-2000s because underneath this is like, I would call it Honda Element orange.
Okay.
I would say.
It's cool.
That might be where it came from.
So the car was orange?
It's orange. It still is. I'm gonna be real with you. This is vinyl.
Oh, okay. This is vinyl. Gotcha. Is it carbon fiber vinyl?
No, this is actually real carbon fiber. But the rest of the car is wrapped.
Nice.
It was just that. And funny thing about the wrap is I think that's what kicked it off for me to start enjoying this car again. Because remember how I was saying it sat for many years. It was non-op for maybe like 3 years because I didn't want to pay for the registration and the smog and all that stuff. So the wrap is actually what sparked the passion back up, because now it's a color that I really like. The orange, like I said, I got the car not because of the color, but because it had the J front.
I'm thinking orange would look super nice with some black wheels.
And people say that too. Oof. People say that. Now, I can show you the gems to see what color it really is underneath, but it's just too loud for me.
This is good, man. Well, the car feels really nice. I think for how old that suspension is, it still rides pretty smooth.
Yeah, rides
the wheel and tire setup is great, man. I mean, the car is very comfortable.
Fairly comfortable. A little rubbing, but I don't know.
In the back, right?
In the back. Okay. I'm sure you heard that.
Just a little bit.
But that's just with these new tires.
Once it loses some air, then you'll be fine.
I figure once it starts shaving off more, then it'll stop.
So that's what the smoke's back there? Still haven't learned your lesson, huh, Joe?
Oh, man. Smoke screens.
Smoke screen.
I'll never forget that look. Just looking at the rear view, and it's just nothing but smoke. It looks like I was like doing burnouts or something.
You were the original takeover guy.
Oh, shoot. Takeover without trying.
Without trying. Yeah,
what's your take on that, man? Takeovers.
I don't like them.
I don't either.
I don't like them.
But I was talking to a youngster about it, and he said, yeah, the youth are doing these takeovers, but look at what you guys were doing in the 90s with the drag races.
Okay.
You guys were out racing on freeways, and he's like, you're still endangering other people. I'm like, you know what?
That's factual.
You make a good point. But I think when we were doing all that, it wasn't our intention to impede traffic or,
Right.
it's a touchy subject, I feel like.
Right.
Between the older car guys and the newer generation.
Well, I'll give you a perfect example. There was a police officer.
Yeah.
They interviewed him because they were doing takeovers, and I like what he had to say. Somebody was saying, "Hey, these takeovers and street racers, we must stop them." And this officer, I'm assuming he's a car enthusiast because he had a pretty clever answer. He said, "No, they're two different people." And the reporter said, "What do you mean?" He's like,
"Wait, where did we come from?"
"Go straight."
Okay.
You're super scared. You're like, "What happened?"
Okay.
And then the reporter said, the officer said, "Street racer guys don't want to be caught. They don't want the attention.
Right.
They're doing it in the warehouses alone by themselves.
Right.
Takeover people are the opposite. If no one gives them attention, they don't see the coolness of what they do. So they go and do it in front of the crypto arena. They go and do it in major intersections.
Yeah.
Because they think that's cool for them, even if it may not be. You go up the hill to the right.
Then make a right.
Go straight
up the hill.
Mm-hmm.
That that makes sense.
And I like what he said. No.
And
street racers don't like the attention, and that when he said that, I was like, that's a huge piece because if you're drag racing, you don't want the cops to show up and impound your stuff.
Right.
Yes, it's still endangering. I'm not gonna, I'm not saying
somebody can put the potential for
right. I'm not saying I'm fully condoning drag racing.
Right.
I think everything there's a reason why there's tracks.
Right.
But let's be honest, people do it and they still do it to this day. But at the end of the day, I feel that there's a difference in the people that are doing takeovers. To call them car enthusiasts, me personally, I think it's a big stretch.
That's a far stretch, yeah.
Right, because
wait, this right here.
Try it. And the reason is, if you're gonna call them car enthusiasts, then we're not car enthusiasts because we appreciate things differently than they do.
Right.
I mean, I see some of these cars all clapped out, and they're not just high school kids. There's 30, 40, 50-year-old dudes out there doing donuts.
Doing takeover stuff?
It's like,
Yeah, no. And I think it creates unwanted attention to those that are truly enthusiasts about the cars.
And that hence why I reluctant to call them car enthusiasts. I think they're aficionados of what they do, which is cool. But me personally, I think that they're in their own little world. We are in our own little world. But some of the color of the vinyl, if you remember.
If I remember correctly, it's charcoal metallic.
Charcoal metallic.
I think that's what it's called.
Such a cool color, man.
Yeah. So it's like a dark gray, but sometimes when the sun hits it, you see like some browns or bronzes. Okay. Which I really dig a lot.
Yeah.
If I ever get the car painted, or when I get the car painted, I should say, it's gonna be similar to this.
Orange?
No. No orange. It's beautiful, It's like I said, eye-catching. But like I said, maybe catching too much attention.
I love orange and yellow and those bright colors.
The bright colors.
Yes,
bright colors.
But it is acquired taste, and you be ready to get attention from everybody.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And like I said, maybe even the wrong attention.
The wrong attention, yeah. Mm-hmm. Side skirts and rear lip. What are those?
So the rear valences and the side skirts are the OEM optional pieces.
Okay.
Type R Jose, not sure if you're familiar with Type R Jose.
Yep.
Everyone probably is. Got the skirts from him.
Okay.
And I think those rear valences are OEM. They came from like New Hampshire, I want to say.
Nice.
Yeah, eBay.
Okay.
eBay.
That's cool.
I had to have the real stuff because I've seen how the replica stuff fits. The front lip is, I don't know, ABS dyed. One of those cheap, like $50, $60 lips.
They're gonna break. Somebody.
That's what I figured. It's like I didn't want to throw like a $1,700 front lip, be fly as hell, and the next thing you know, I crack it.
Do it. People do it. People still do it.
No, I don't.
It's not my money, Jim.
I don't have that kind of dispensable income, man.
I love that.
But no, the cheap lips in the front.
Yeah, it works. It looks great. It fits pretty nicely.
It fits,
Okay. Tell us about your suspension. What do you got going on?
So in the front, I do have Skunk 2, the camber upper control arms. They're sitting on Megan. I'm with Megan Racing.
Nice.
I got them a really long time ago. So back to when I first got it, right? It was sitting on donuts, and I'm at the wheel and tire shop. And I'm looking at these wheels. There were some XXRs, really affordable. Like I just want some.
Those were my first set of wheels. I love XXRs. Yeah, I love them.
You know, it was like $450 or $500 for wheels and tires, right? So I'm looking at this particular one, and I'm asking a guy, are these gonna fit? He's like, yeah, they'll fit, no problem. So they were 16x8 0 offset. So he slaps them on.
They'll fit. I don't know if you'll like them, but they'll fit.
So he slaps them on, right? Mind you, I'm on cut springs and blown shocks.
Nice.
They're sticking out about an inch, maybe an inch and a half out the fender well. I'm driving down the street and it's feeling weird. I look behind me, nothing but smoke.
Nice.
So the tires are just 100% rubbing onto the fenders. I came right back. I was like, yo, man, these things ain't fitting. He's like, well, you already bought them. We'll just put the donuts on.
You already destroyed them.
He said, we'll just put the donuts back on and then you can figure out what you want to do with them. You know? But yeah, so that's
funny. Learning, man. I love that.
Yeah.
Will they fit? Yeah, 16x8 minus 15? Yeah, you'll be fine.
Zero offset.
The guy was like, yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah, you're good. Maybe a little camber, you'll be fine. You know?
And you don't have adjustability to raise or lower. That's the fun part, too.
Yeah.
I love it, man. That's interesting. Okay.
But now, yeah, so luckily that wheel and tire shop was down the street from a performance shop, you know? I got the most affordable coilovers I can get just so I can make everything happen. And it happens to be some Megan Racing coilovers, which they're still on.
And they're working.
They're working, no real issues with them.
Cool.
You know, maybe later swap them out for something better. But I mean, in the meantime, they're working fine.
You can put those 16x8 plus 0 offset.
Negative 30.
Negative 30. Yeah, you good.
Perfect fitment.
That guy knew what he was doing. Gotcha. That's lovely. Well, now we're talking about, it seems like now you know your wheel specs because, man, these things are beautiful. What are they and what are the specs?
So these are SSR Professor SP4Rs. They're in a 16x7 plus 32.
Ooh, much
plus 32 with a these tires are Falcon Zenith RT615s.
Wow.
And 215/45.
Now you know your specs, huh?
Now I mean, after all this time of, you know, looking up and down the internet and talking to your car buddies, you know, you start to learn a little something.
Yeah, that's
compared
cool.
to 16x8 0 offset, perfect.
What's the worst that can happen?
Oh,
that guy still just look at you leave. He'll be back in 2 minutes.
Probably clown it too, like, hey, watch him go down the street.
That's funny. Oh man. And I see that you upgraded the brakes as well.
Yeah. So those are the Willwood direct replacements. I want to say they're called the DPHAs or something like that. You know, I really wanted to upgrade the brakes. They were just crusty, rusty, and it was a pretty affordable set of brake calipers, you know, for and direct bolt-on.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
You don't have to be dealing with like brackets or things like that. The rear fin in the back you just nailed it, man.
Yeah, it's looking real good, man. I lucked out with, I didn't know how it was gonna fit. I was scared it would be, you know, maybe too sunk or whatever. But no, I'm really content with how it came out.
Yeah, you nailed it, man. How about the rear? What do you got going on?
So rear, we got the Password JDM. What do they call it? The trunk finisher, carbon Kevlar. Funny story about that is my wife got that for me for it was either Father's Day or my birthday or something. I wanted the black carbon fiber one, and she was asking me, "Hey, babe, what do you want for your birthday?" Or I don't know if it was my birthday or Father's Day or whatever. Right. I was like, I really want this lip, this spoiler, but I was getting ready to leave for work, so she's like, "Send me the link." I sent her the link. It was for the Kevlar one because I was in a rush. I didn't even, you know, okay, this is the one here. You know, this is what I want. I come in, fast forward to when it comes in. I'm like, oh yeah, I got it. You know, I open it up. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This is the
You ungrateful son.
This is the Kevlar one.
But
you know what?
I could just imagine just.
She could have saved a couple bucks too, getting the regular carbon one.
But now the Kevlar ones are the hardest ones to find. Anything Kevlar, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
and you know, when I test fitted it, I'm like, you know what? It's gonna work. You know it.
And I think it flows nicely with the paint scheme now.
Yeah, with the color. Mm-hmm. And that's why I wasn't bugging about trying to like ship it back and getting a carbon fiber one. I just, you know, ran with it. But it definitely does shine a darker light on those that are just in it for the pure enthusiasm of the car and not the attention that you're trying to get. And
right,
you know,
that's the reason we focus a lot on the story of the builder.
Yeah,
because we're not just here for burnouts or you know, like that doesn't appeal to me, at least to me. I'm sure there's channels out there that they love to. They don't care about the person's background or how they got something. They just want to let's hear pulls, bro, and that's it. And that's not. At least that's not what I'm trying to do. It's a little different.
Right.
Oh, you also have spoon mirrors.
Yeah, so I got the spoon inserts for the side view mirrors, and I also, when we can talk about the interior, the rear view mirror.
Those are hard to find.
No, it's not. No.
I thought they were hard to find.
No.
Interesting.
No, they weren't hard to find at all.
Let's check out the interior.
Let's check it out.
Let's check out the one that is not hard to find. Here's the orange that you were mentioning.
Look at the orange. Look at the orange.
I love the orange, by the way. It's not too bright.
You know, a lot of people say that, man. I've gotten that over the years.
There you go. I was under the impression that was hard to find.
No.
Okay.
I mean, you can go to Spoon's website, and I'm sure you can get it for, they have a long list of models that they have it for.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, interior, very, very nice, man. What do we got going on?
So fairly stock interior with a pretty trashy dash. I do have a fresher one at home. I just haven't had the time and resources to swap it out. So anybody out there watching in the San Diego area, if you could help me swap a dash, let a brother know, because I don't know how to do all that jazz.
It's not an easy task.
It's not easy, and it looks like it's a couple days work if you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
And I probably don't know what I'm doing.
Welcome to the club, sir.
Yeah. So stock seats. These are GSR door cards. I found them for a pretty decent price.
Okay.
So I figured I'd swap out the ones I had were pretty trashy too. Let's see what we're talking about here. Well, we got the Grady steering wheel, Grady. What do you call that? The quick release.
Mm-hmm.
That is a GSR cluster. Okay. With, I don't know what kind of metal insert that's in there, but I just thought it was cool.
It looks cool,
I just picked it up, We got the hybrid shifter, Grady shift knob. Fairly stock, we got
very
these
cool
checkered carpets, because the ones I had I don't know if the previous owner was smoking blunts in there, but he had really big burns in those carpets.
Let's go with maybe. Gotcha.
Maybe.
I mean, the interior is very, very clean.
Yeah, and that was another consideration too when I first saw the car back then. I said, you know what? For what it is, there's no rips, no tears. Everything's working perfectly. So I was like, you know what? This interior is actually fairly good.
Yeah, which is getting hard to find now.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Just with the pieces. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but
definitely
to have everything in there.
The plastics are fairly okay.
Yeah, they look great. Nothing is like hanging loose, weird. It's good.
No.
Okay, man. Any future plans for the interior?
Definitely some Recaros of some sort. I'm really trying to swap those out. Probably get the rear seats reupholstered.
Okay.
Nothing much more. Like I said, I have a more fresher dash at home, and I think once I get that out, that'll probably make the interior look a lot more cleaner.
I think the interior looks fine as it is, but yes, you guys are very meticulously, and I love that. And so I'm sure hopefully somebody can help you in the San Diego area, because I think it'd be cool. It'd be cool to be able to swap that out and just make the car even look cleaner than it already is.
Yeah, definitely.
But I legitimately like this orange, man. I legitimately do, not gonna lie. I'm like, man.
Yeah, well, see, the jams are really nice, but outside everything is it's trashy underneath this vinyl. So
gotcha.
Yeah, I tried to polish it as much as possible, but no, I think just the neglect was just.
It was there.
It was too bad, you know. It was too bad. Who the previous owner probably just lost the love for it. You know.
Well, yeah, he was ready for next 2000. Well, let's see the power plant if you don't mind showing us. Let's see what we got going on.
Let's go.
So cool that you kept a K all throughout these years.
All these years? No, this started just life as an LS.
Ah.
Yeah, and it was a really tired LS motor too.
Really tired.
It was
Sounds
tired.
like me.
Yeah, it was tired.
Let's see.
Oh, the best single cam you can ever get.
You know what's funny? For whatever reason, I thought the car was B series. So I was making fun of you. I was like, "Oh, I'm glad you went K."
Oh, you were clowning.
I was clowning, dude. I thought it was B series. I forgot.
Oh man, so
that is funny.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, when you popped the hood, I was like,
wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. It is a K.
I was like, all right, because I always make that joke, like, oh, K's the way for the B series, and for the B series guys, it's just like. So
yeah, I don't know if you remember, you talked to me a couple years back about doing an interview, and it was still the LS motor.
Oh.
And it was just burning oil like crazy, and
that's normal though.
Well, I mean, I didn't know it was normal, and like 900 miles in, my oil light's on.
And she did the oil change.
900 miles in, oil light's on, and it's just, I don't know, man. I just felt like maybe I damaged because I rode probably close to a mile on it like that.
Oh shoot.
Because I was just trying to get it home. I was like, dude, my oil light's on, and I noticed a mile out. Who knows how long it was actually on?
I noticed.
Yeah. So I did the oil change. I still drove it, but I didn't. Yeah, at the time, I think you wanted to meet in like Ortega Highway or something like that. And I was like, you know what? It's not gonna. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable.
I'm not gonna make it.
I don't feel comfortable. And then fast forward it to a year later, I had the opportunity to get this done.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
At a more affordable cost of going like B Series VTEC.
Don't say that. Don't say that, because the B guys they get mad about that.
They do. But see, I'm a B guy at heart. At the end of the day.
No, you're not. They would say, no, you're not.
No,
you would go B.
At the end of the day, I wanted a B Series B18 C1 or C5, but the cost was just, it just wasn't.
Don't say that. They get mad. That's what we get the dislike.
Sorry if I offend anyone, but hey, man, this was just the more cost-effective route for me.
That's awesome, man. Well, what are we staring at?
So it is a 2005 Acura TSX motor, 2.4 liter K series with a Integra RSX Type S transmission.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
We've got a Skunk 2 Pro Series intake manifold, throttle body. Or did I say K-Tune or Skunk 2?
Skunk 2.
Skunk 2, K-Tune intake, no-name headers. We've got, what else can we talk about here? Cusco strut tower bar. We've got Chasing J's hardware here and there. Koyo Rad.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
The motor itself is stock?
Everything inside is stock. It's just simple bolt-ons, intake header, exhaust.
Okay, K-Tune, fuel rail, all that good stuff.
K-Tune, fuel rail. We got Password JDM, what do you call these things? Wind deflectors, or I don't know what they're called.
Aren't they supposed to be for coolant?
I think it's for cooling.
Yeah,
cooling plate. Cooling plate.
Yeah, I think
that's what it's called. Cooling plate.
We'll call it wind deflectors.
Whatever it's called. Whatever it's
cool
called.
piece. Gotcha. Okay, and there's reservoir there. Motor mounts from.
No namer. If I had to guess, PLM.
Okay.
So it was a whole kit. It was this whole swap kit for an X amount of dollars, and it's just whatever he had.
That's awesome.
Shout out, by the way, to Up Next Motorsports. They're the boys that put the motor in for me.
Awesome.
Yeah. So any of you guys out there decide that K is the way, and you need a little bit of help, holler at the boys over at Up Next Motorsports.
Well, the question to you, Jeremy. I know you're a B Series guy. Listen to the question very carefully, Jeremy.
Yes.
Is K the way? No. Okay. No.
Yeah.
No. Just say no. Just say no.
Well, yes and no. I would say yes and no. I would say that maybe both have their pros and their cons.
Never-ending conversation. And
and that's going to be an endless debate, right?
Guys just like to steer the debate.
And then they have the purists out there that that, like you said, would probably get offended. But I don't know, man. I can't hate on the K, and I truly enjoyed driving this power plant in this car.
B18C boosted is one of the greatest experience I've ever been able to experience.
Yeah,
I'll say that very nicely.
B series boosted. Are we talking like
B18C.
VTEC boosted?
Yeah, B18C boost.
Okay,
that's one of my most favorite memories, core memories from one of the guys that I interview.
Yeah.
But K is just different.
It's different, man. It's cool. Different. You know?
And the thing is, all jokes aside, K or B, the matter is depends on your budget and depends on what you want.
Yes.
Not everything has to be K. Not everything has to be B series. Not everything has to be swapped for that matter. If you want to rock on the OEM and just cruise, that's perfectly fine.
Cruising is perfectly fine.
I think part of the problem that we're dealing with, it's almost like going back when you were saying, well, the Datsun 510, the Z, and the Integra were at the same price. Great, that was back then. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
And the same thing with this. If B series was affordable or accessible, a lot more people would go B series than K.
Yeah, and like I said, that was my plan, was to have B series VTEC in this thing. You know, that was always the plan. I never thought of going K, but the opportunity came, and when he told me how much it was going to cost for me to put it in there, I said, dude, let's just do it.
Let's do it, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can put a supercharger, and it's a whole different experience.
With this thing?
With this thing.
Oh, yeah.
And you can,
any kind of forced induction.
Correct.
But I don't know, man, like, as it is, a stock K swap, for me, is more than enough.
Right. Yeah.
It's more than enough. I don't need more than that.
There you go.
You know, I mean, it would be cool and, you know, flex points or whatever, but I mean, the power plant stock as is, I can't complain.
Yeah.
You know, I can't complain at all.
And that's what K series offers. So, you know, kudos. We always joke around. B is king though, but K is
you know what? That's a perfect statement right there.
I always say that. Gotcha. So any plans for the engine or the motor?
I would like a better tune. I would like it to be more fine-tuned.
Is it tuned right now?
It's like a bass tune that the Up Next boys, they have, that they, you know, they kind of put it in just to get you, you know, get you going properly. But I would like a more, you know, refined tune. I would like probably a better, what do you call this? Engine harness. I would like the wiring harness. Something better, maybe the rye wire. Hopefully, I don't know. I mean, it's money. But I mean, other than that, I don't really have much more plans. You know, unless maybe something breaks that needs to be upgraded.
Okay. They say that if the axle breaks, the solution is a turbo. But you know,
yeah, maybe.
So a lot of dudes always say, "Oh, I need to change the axle," and I end up swapping the car to it.
Turbo, supercharged. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see later down the line. But I am really content with what it's doing right now.
Awesome, man. Yeah, keep as is. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
If it ain't broke,
just enjoy it. Just
you
enjoy
know?
it.
Exactly. You know, just enjoy it.
That's awesome, man. This is cool, Jeremy. I appreciate it, man. Jeremy, thank you so much for making the time, man. Yeah, I did hit you up a while back, a couple years back now, so thank you so much for keeping contact and messaging me now and saying, hey, let's set it up, let's make it happen. It means a lot. Like I told you off camera, this is not for everybody. This is a very personal thing, and we appreciate those people like yourself who have made the time to showcase it. The whole idea of this is that one day we'll look back 10, 15, 20 years from now and be like, man, I did that back then, you know? And also serves a purpose of inspiring other people, including myself, to go and build something cool like this and to show them that just because you have a full-on career, you might be in your later 30s and your 40s, it doesn't mean you can't be driving something like this. It gives motivation to everybody else. So thank you so much for the time. And thank you for driving, Jeremy.
And thank you for having me, man. You know, I've been watching your show, and I always keep thinking, man, maybe one of these days I'll go talk to Gus about my car, you know?
Yeah, man. More than welcome for anybody out there. I think that's dude, I'm just the guy who holds the GoPro. Like you guys are the ones who are inspiring, and you guys are the ones making it happen, so we definitely appreciate it, man. And so throughout these years, you know, any shout outs for this specific build?
I mean, for this specific build, man, first and foremost, shout out to my wife Michelle, and you know, having just an awesome wife that understands that I do love cars. She's a bit of an enthusiast herself.
Nice.
So shout out to Michelle, my kids, of course. Shout out to all the guys that just from day one helped me get it to where it's at right now. So we're talking about the homie Ernie, Ixter Garage. He's the one that when it was still B, got it back to as healthy as possible. Shout out to my longtime homeboy Tony True for helping me with odds and ends here and there, you know, swapping things out for me when things broke. Shout out to my cousin Mark for even, you know, for putting hands on the car, also helping me get to where it's going. The speed homies, the guys that I kind of roll around to the meets with, shout out to them. Shout out to Up Next Motorsports for getting the K in there and just being such cool guys, you know. So like I said, any of you out there need some K help, holler at the Up Next Motorsports. Shout out to the homie Bernie for helping me get the car wrapped. He's the guy that wrapped the car for me and got me, like I said, the fire started, you know, loving this thing again. Shout out to Rex 1. I don't know if any of y'all heard of Rex 1. Shout out to him for just kind of being there and connecting me with the K-swap. Getting the hood too. I mean, I got this hood for a really good price a couple of days ago. Shout out to DB8 Motorsports for getting these wheels to me in like 3 or 4 days all the way from Asia.
That's awesome.
Who else am I forgetting? I think that's it.
Anybody who you forgot, there's always somebody you forget.
There's always someone you forget. You know, the days leading up to this, you're thinking, yeah, I'm gonna talk, you know, I'm gonna shout this and that, and then this happens, and you're like, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to all those that I forgot to shout out.
Yeah, man. So definitely appreciate the time. Like I said, great car. I love Integra, especially with the J Fernand. Yeah, they're getting harder and harder to find.
They sure are,
I'm
man.
so
They sure
glad that
are.
there's people like you who are still owning them, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm glad you went back to that because it's I've had this conversation with different people where they get older and they're like, I should be driving a little more mature-ish, more stylish, luxuries, whatever, comfortable.
Right. And I've been there with the TL.
Correct.
You know, I want the new, I want the high technology, I want the big car. But at the end of the day, it's these old, like, 90s golden era Hondas that just really put a smile on my face.
Man, couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the time, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.